Hello everybody, my name is Shawn Wood. Welcome to the initial launch of Cab Conversations. Today I'm joined by Dave Dover with BCB Transport. He is the maintenance director, and we're really excited about the podcast today. So let's get right on into it, Dave.
What's going on, Shawn?
So glad you're here, man. How long has it been?
It's been a minute. It's been probably, it's been about 3 months since I saw you.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
But
so we
like the setup here, are we like actually in the cab here? What do we got going on here?
This is inside the VNL 860.
Okay.
Looks like a little fishing decorum
this dude
going
needs
on.
to truck more and not fish as much.
He's enjoying his downtime, isn't he?
Wow. What are we doing? I mean, and by the way, what are you catching here? I mean, I want to know what you're doing. Would you bring a fish into the cab this big? I mean, seriously.
Only after it's gutted and prepped.
Okay. All right, let's get started.
All right, man, let's get into it. So can you kind of just tell the viewers a little bit about yourself and how you got into trucking?
Oh, my God. Let's not go back that far. Actually, was an owner-operator for a very long time, and about 15 years ago, got out of the truck and came into the office and did this side, the other side of trucking, and did everything from dispatch to, I don't know, you want to talk equipment to maintenance to customer service to backhauls to planning. Now you're all, and I couldn't get any of it right, so they actually put me in charge of the operation. So that's kind of how it worked. I wasn't really, he doesn't know what he's doing, just let him run it. So, okay. But yeah, no, that's basically how we did it.
Yeah. Okay, so kind of tell me how things went with tell me how the origins of BCB Live and BCB Transport and how all that stuff's kind of morphed into what it is today.
Wow, that's kind of a fun story. It started out pretty much in the beginning in 2011. It started out with just owner-operators, leasing on to a company that acquired freight. And it quickly morphed from that, and I was one of those owner-operators that leased on. But soon afterwards, BCB started acquiring trucks in its business model, right, to use as company trucks. Because dedicated accounts, dedicated lanes, it's hard to get an owner-operator to be on that unless you have a company truck there for it. So that business model grew, and pretty soon the demand for trucks became, even more trucks became to own them instead of lease them or instead of use them. It was the previous business model, just to go outright and get equipment and value that equipment and turn it. It would be a better deal altogether. So that's how it really began. And there were several people that came into the business and made offers, and Shawn was one of them. And I can tell you, sitting across from the table years and years ago, they went around the room and they asked what we all thought as we went down incrementally. And I can tell you I was not a fan. Because years ago, historically, there were issues and problems with getting parts, getting trucks repaired. There were lots of issues, communication, all that stuff was 90s stuff, and it was just, it was difficult. There was, right. The history. It's not a secret. And Shawn pretty much leaned over to me and said, that's different. It's changed. That's not who we are now, and we have processes in place to not have that anymore. We knew that was us. We wanted to not be that anymore. So I'll tell you what, I was really reticent, really hesitant in the purchase, but we went ahead and acquired, I think originally we did 25.
That's correct.
We did 25 originally, and within 6 months of those first 25, I really like the trucks, not for several reasons. Number one, the Volvo, to me, and I'm going to start here, our premise and our ideology and everything about our company starts with safety first.
Right.
We don't ask for any piece of equipment unless, hey, is there any other safety piece of equipment that you can put on the truck? I think we've asked you that every single time we've purchased a truck. Is there, I don't care if it's research and development. Is there, right? I mean, hey, you got something else? We want to make sure that the drivers are 100% safe.
Yep.
And I'll tell you what, I got to know, touch, feel, and understand the tractors that you had very well. I remember the all metal bodies, unlike the fiberglass ones. Roped in windows.
All steel cabs.
All steel cabs, roped in windows, so you could push them out in case of an emergency. I mean, there were so many small features that added up to big things for the driver. The comfort was important, how they drove was important, fuel mileage is important. But I'm going to tell you, if you're going to retain drivers, you have to tell them, hey, we got this to protect you. We got this to save your life. We got this because, I mean, we had the very first trucks we got, we had lane assist. We had, we also had blind spot recognition. We also had adaptive cruise. We also had collision avoidance. We also had, all of these things that are put into these commercial trucks to help save lives were there. And the technology just kept coming, and it kept coming. But I'll tell you, I was really hesitant. I sat across from him, and you said, no. You got my vote is no. Yeah. That's what, and by the way, I was outvoted 5-1. 4-1, I was outvoted because I came across with a really good deal. And quickly after that, it worked out well.
So I remember in 2018, I remember you telling me, I'm just not on board with this. And I brought the truck over to your office, and you and I sat in the cab.
Oh, I crawled all over.
And you got all up in it.
I crawled. Oh yeah, you can't bring a truck to that brand new truck. And I'm like, okay.
It was a walk. It was an hour and a half walk around.
Oh yeah.
And you went over everything with a fine tooth comb.
I did.
And by the time we were done, you were not necessarily a full on board yes.
No.
But you were no longer a hard no.
That is correct.
Yeah.
That is correct. And there were many reasons. Number one, there were a lot of things about the safety features that were brought to my attention, and a lot of the things about the in-cab comfort that were there that weren't everywhere. And look,
yes.
Trucks are out there, and you can go get a truck. But I'm going to tell you how important it is that safety is a big deal. Volvo has always been safe, and we can sit here and we can talk about it till we're blue in the face. But all of the seatbelts in the United States are based on the Volvo seatbelt.
That's correct. Yes, a lot of people don't know that. That Volvo patented, and the 3-point seatbelt that
we all use.
It's in everybody's vehicle now.
Y'all gave it away.
Yeah, Volvo literally had the patent on that, and they gave it to the market. They gave it to the world.
Gave it
because they thought it was that important.
It was
of a feature, and now it's standard on
in every vehicle.
Every vehicle on the planet Earth. Yeah, so.
Every vehicle, which is great. And I'm going to tell you, we've had fun. The first 25, and I was when we went and got our next, what was it, 50?
60.
Something like that. Yes. Yeah, we got another, so right after that, within 2 years, we got
No, it was within about 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, we got another 60.
Yep.
And I was ready.
I think it was like 62 was the number.
Yeah, and we got another, I was ready because they were that great for the drivers. And for me, to retain the drivers and keep them on, it was that big of a deal. We joke around about, everybody wants the name, but after you drive it a while, then it becomes, well, it's a different story.
Yeah.
And then that plate on the front, it just becomes a different deal. And I'm going to tell you, fuel mileage, comfort, and I'll tell you really what was fun was the maintenance program that we got into.
So that would be Volvo's Managed Blue program.
Managed Blue program.
The prepaid maintenance, yes.
I'm going to tell you right now, I had a guy I could call. I have a guy today I can call.
That's the Trip Vision feature with Colt Pearson.
Yeah, I have a guy I can call. I don't call anybody else.
Right.
I call that dude.
Yeah.
And I got a problem. I have my maintenance team calls that dude. You know why? Because that's my dude.
Yeah.
And not the salesman, not one of the guys at the behind the phone, one of the. No, we don't do that anymore. We go straight to the. Hey, what about this tractor? What about this tractor? Yeah. And he's got his nose on every tractor.
Yeah. So let me just say something about the Volvo Managed Blue and the Trip Vision feature. You guys at BCB Transport were the pilot company in North America for the prepaid maintenance program. And everybody was watching.
Oh, yeah.
And, I had to make sure that I got everything, that got all the buttons pushed,
Oh, no,
I got
no.
everything signed
Yeah.
up right. And once you guys got on board with that, I mean, kind of go into that a little more about what's going on as far as, the one-stop shop, one phone call to one guy, and all the Volvo analytics that goes with it.
Yeah, there's a ton of things that are added on. Look, Volvo Action Service.
Yes.
All right. So I was a little hesitant on Volvo Action Service till we used it, and we got the phone, and they are watchdogs. They're like bulldogs that you give them. Normally and they're not the shop. They're not the maintenance guy. They're not the person fixing it. They don't do any of that.
But they're the teeth that make it go.
I'm going to tell you right now, you give it to them and they will run with it, and they're like, okay, hey, I'm broke down. Okay, so let's take it for a deal.
Sure.
You break down.
Yeah.
Right? All right, let's just start easy, something easy.
You pull the visor down.
It's on the visor.
They
call
1-800-52 Volvo.
1-800-52 Volvo. The driver calls that and says, hey, I'm broke down. And
Well, hang on. So the profile's set up. I've got your profile
Oh,
set
yeah.
up. You and I have been over everything.
Oh, yeah.
This is the profile. This is
Oh, yeah.
what we're doing.
They
These
know
are-
who to call.
These are the parameters,
Oh,
and
yeah.
this is what's going on here.
all it's one phone call,
Yes.
and everything starts happening in place. And they can call out. They call out maintenance. They call out. They do everything that needs to be done. They can handle right there at Volvo Action Service, and they know who to call when they don't know, when it doesn't fit within those parameters. They know what to do and how to do it and how to handle it. And if it goes to, let's just say it gets towed to a shop, and Volvo Action Service tows it to a shop.
Yes.
Okay. I don't have to call the shop.
No.
Volvo-
They've already called the shop.
They called the shop 7 times.
The shop knows
I
it's
get an
coming.
email that says, okay, this is the update on your truck. This is the update. I don't call the shop that
No.
much. They're all over them.
Yep.
I mean, they're all over them. And,
Hang on. So for those of you who don't know about Volvo Action Service, the whole process for Volvo is to try to stay out in front of these things.
Oh, yeah.
To minimize the amount of downtime and to make it as pain-free as possible.
Absolutely.
So they've already notified the nearest Volvo Action Service dealer.
Right.
They've already made sure the bays are available. They've already made sure the parts on hand.
Right.
They've already basically, if the remote diagnostics was available, they've already triaged the truck, so they know which bay it's going to go in. Is this going to take 4 hours? Is this going to take 8
There's
hours? Yeah. So go ahead.
Yeah, no, there's a lot there, and
Yeah.
for on my side, right?
Yes.
I'm the ops manager, I'm the maintenance guy, or whatever the case is. Things are being handled, and I only have to call to find. Most of the time, I can find out the information on my website.
Yes.
And all my truck profile and everything in there because I got a ticket. I can read the ticket and I can find out what's going on as things are happening to the ticket.
Yes.
And by the way, you call the shop, you say, hey, I just want to ask about my truck. They go, first of all, it's on the ticket, but Action Service is already, but they'll tell you. It's not like but they'll let you know what's going on. But most of that stuff is already within the ticket.
Yes.
And it's already running, which is pretty amazing.
So Volvo Assist, the software platform, allows you and the service department and Volvo Action Service live communications on all the interactions that's going on with that truck.
And I'm going to tell you, as a maintenance guy and as an ops guy, 2 things happens here. Number one, I can rest a little bit knowing that my truck's being fixed.
Yes.
Now my job is to take care of the load and the driver. Okay, and which is immeasurable. I mean, to know that, okay, he got over here, we got him to a hotel, or we did what we needed to do. It's already process already started. I have an idea of what needs to take place. I'll tell you, as everybody in trucking knows, and what we do, we solve problems all day long. That's what we do. And as long as we know the problem and we got information to make a good decision, we can make a great decision. Do I wait? Do I wait to go? Do I just notify the customer that it's going to be a little late? Or do I need to bring another truck? Do I need to go get another truck? Any of these things that happen there in that situation, all you want to know is what you need to do.
Right.
And this right here actually is a great form of communication on many platforms. Number one, I can call. Number two, I can just get it on my email. I get updates. I get email. Volvo sends me an email all the time. I actually have a folder for Volvo Action Service. It all goes in that folder. That way, if I have to look for something or look up something, because I called them many times, said, hey, here, this, and they're like, oh, yeah, no, we got you.
Yeah.
So
all you need is a case number.
All you need is a case number, and you can find out, and it's a lot of, so that's Volvo Action Service.
Yep.
All right. That's what we were talking about in that regard. Number two,
to the prepaid maintenance.
The prepaid maintenance. So I thought it was going to be difficult because normally when you do a prepaid maintenance, it limits your ability to handle wherever you are because trucks rarely are here. And what was really nice about the prepaid maintenance, I'd like for them to come through one of our shops around here or even our home base store, but I could go to any Volvo. And the prepaid maintenance is, a lot of the times they had never seen our maintenance program before. We would go, when we first started, we would roll in there and we were like, okay, hey, they're like, okay, well, it's going to be, no, you might want to check the assist case.
Yeah, I think that was one of the growing pains with y'all being the pilot program.
Yeah, no, it's all paid for.
Some of these people are going, I didn't even know we had that. Wow, what a cool feature.
Yeah, and we would go in and they would adjust valves. They would do the whole check,
Right.
everything from top to bottom. And
Based on your service at a glance.
Right,
Yep.
and you could, and it depended on what interval you were in, what was needed to be done.
Yep.
And you just scheduled it and knew when you were going, knew what you were doing, tried to get it done so where the driver only had 1 day downtime.
Right.
And you know what? That's a big deal.
So let me interrupt you for a second. So one of the cool things about Volvo Action Service and Certified Uptime Centers is they have the priority lanes, the priority bays. So you're not in line behind brand X,
Correct.
first come, first serve, waiting 5 days for
They know you're coming.
that brand X to get an engine overhaul or something like that. You're routed to one of the uptime bays right away.
Yeah.
And because they know you're coming, they know you're part of this program, and that's what's going on there.
Even the scheduled maintenance.
Right.
And I wanted to get with you on that. Even the scheduled maintenance. I didn't have to keep track of my maintenance. I don't have to keep track with the Volvo. I mean, with the prepaid maintenance and all. I don't have to know when it needs to be in to an oil change.
Does your Trip Vision guys
Your Trip Vision guys calling you saying, dude, you need to get this truck in. It's due next week, or it's due today, or it was due 3 days. You know every week what truck's due by miles.
Yeah, I remember
or by time.
I remember walking back there a few times, and Colt would say, "Hey, these 5, this one needs this.
Yeah.
These 3 need this,
Right.
and this one's coming up and needs this. And I can see you're over here. Let's go ahead and take care of that while you've got them in there."
Yeah, absolutely. And what's nice about that is that nobody knows the Volvo better than the Volvo.
Right.
And it's coming in there and it's getting done what you need to get done. But I'm telling you, it actually was an employee that I didn't need to have. Does that make sense? Like I didn't need to have an employee that managed just that.
On your side. you
On
mean.
my side.
Yeah, we got a guy for you.
You got a guy for me.
Yeah,
It's
I do.
part of my package. Now, sure, but it saves me not only, hey, this is where you're at, this is what's going on, and here you are. We got you planned up, we got you scheduled into this store. I get a Outlook schedule on our maintenance sheet that we have. I get an Outlook an appointment.
Yes.
So everybody in the whole team knows when that truck's supposed to be there. So everybody knows when that truck's supposed to hit that look. Because we'll call and say, okay, he's going to be in, I don't know, he's going to be in Indianapolis.
Yep.
All right, I need a Volvo in Indianapolis. Okay, I need him done on Tuesday because he's going to be there. He's going to be off for 2 days, or he's going to take his time off there, or he's going to be down for a 34. Can I go ahead and just get him scheduled in Indianapolis? And they're like, absolutely. Then they call Indianapolis, get it set up. Then I roll in there. They know I'm coming.
Yep.
It's done. And the guy has his time off, and I'm out of there. And it's not just an oil change, right? It's everything that has to be done,
Yes.
which was really nice.
Yes.
And I'm going to tell you, when everything's checked and everything's done, it's not just rolling in to Speedco and get an oil change and out the door in an hour and a half.
Right.
You're going in. The guy's got he's checking every single thing on the truck.
Yeah.
And if there's something wrong, you know about it,
Yes.
and we fix it. And especially when you have the prepaid maintenance, they just fix it. I mean,
There's no bill.
there's no bill. There's no bill.
No. And something really cool about the prepaid maintenance, it's almost like buying an IRA, sort of.
Yeah.
Because you're paying for it with today's dollars.
Right.
And you've got it for X number of years. So regardless of what happens with respect to inflation or whatever else, it's done. It's done.
And my deal on that was, and when we bought them, and we've always done that when we bought them, we always agreed that for the safety side of it, you can't beat that.
Right.
All right, you actually have somebody up under the truck looking at the brakes. You're looking at the airlines, right? Looking at the valves, looking at popping doing everything that has to be done, knowing the oil for the truck, knowing everything that has to be done for that tractor and everything that should be done for that tractor. It's there. So on the safety side of it, it's you're buying good insurance, knowing that the vehicle's taken care of. Because if the vehicle's taken care of, you're better able to take care of the driver. It's less things he has to worry about,
Correct.
or she behind the wheel.
Yeah, that's a good analogy, using the insurance.
Yeah, because I want to make sure they're okay.
Sure.
And when they use it, and it's less stress on them about the truck, and all they have to focus on is the driving,
Yes,
you have a safer driver.
absolutely.
And that's what I want. I want drivers to know how important they are, and I want them safe. Mm-hmm. And you put them in a safe vehicle, and you give them a secure vehicle, and you let them know you care. They're going to drive better and safer every single time.
So since you mentioned safe, so go ahead and talk about safety with respect to the culture at BCB Transport.
Oh my God, it's everything.
Because I know in our initial conversations that we were very much aligned, Volvo Trucks,
Absolutely.
Bruckner's, and BCB Transport. Safety was, at the top of the list.
Yeah, so having driven trucks and having worked for other companies, a lot of the times safety was placed on the driver to do. It was the driver's, hey, we're safe, we're all about safety as long as you get it done safely. But make sure the load gets delivered.
Right.
I'm
Oh,
just
boy.
let's be honest.
All he heard was load delivered.
Or here's my favorite one. Hey, by the way, I know it's so. Will you make the decision on whether you can go or not? You're the driver, but know that if you don't get there, you may be there a day or two. What does that tell? What's that driver going to do in that point?
He's going to go.
He's going to go.
Yeah.
You've goaded the guy.
Goes back to load delivered. It comes down to just dollars. That's it.
That's it. And here's the deal about what we believe in more important than anything else is that life matters above everything else.
That's right.
There is nothing in those boxes more important than those drivers' lives and anybody they come into contact with every single day. They're responsible for their life and they're responsible for the people around them. But you know what? If I'm their boss, I'm more responsible than they are.
Right.
And I have to do everything in my power to empower them to be safe. And if that means coach, talk, if that means be out there with them, if that means communicate with them every day. And I don't mean just get on the phone and say, hey, by the way, drive safe. That's not what it means to be safe. Safety is something that you create, do, provide, and push to the future, because you're going to be safe now because you want to be better than tomorrow. You want to be better today than you were yesterday. I want to be better tomorrow than I was today. And for us, it was a mission to move away from the belief, all of the old beliefs, all of the old stigmas. I talk to every single driver in my company every day. Every day. They have an opportunity to communicate with me on a platform that we have, that we do open, that we have within the company, that we talk back and forth every day. They come together for a safety meeting.
What's the name of that platform?
Safety Struck.
Safety Struck. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
So they all meet there. They all watch the show. We do weather, safety. So here I have an opportunity to train every day the most important people in my company. The people that are out there with the 80,000-pound trucks running the highways. I have an opportunity, and by the way, I do it twice a day. Once in the morning and once in the afternoon, so that they have an opportunity to see it, whether they're sleeping, running, or whatever they can do. They can do their 30-minute break and get a part of the safety show. But the deal is, and the idea, and they can listen to it if they need to, but not watch it, but it is video as well. It's like a Zoom call. But the idea is that everyone makes a safety decision.
Yeah.
And be it the driver manager, the CSR, the maintenance guy, or the driver, everybody is responsible for safety, and it's our job to protect everybody's life. And by the way, there is nothing more important than the lives people's lives. Nothing more important than that, and we have to believe that in everything we do. There isn't a dollar amount big enough that you can tell me is okay to kill somebody.
Right.
There's not, and
Right.
there's not. So why not slow down and just be a little safer?
Yep.
And by the way, the safer you are, our FMCSA scores are some of the best in the business.
Yeah, my next question was going to be kind of translate that to how that's impacted your company and with respect to insurance.
Oh.
And then when you guys transitioned to the sale to CRST, what that did for you.
Yeah, no matter what, the safer that we are, it translated into better FMCSA scores. I mean, some of the best in the business.
Because you guys were you were in the 80s
on vehicle maintenance.
when I first started calling you, and then now
19.
yeah, so impressive.
Yeah, no,
so
but
impressive.
but it takes a culture. It takes
does.
a belief, and it takes an understanding that every single one of us is responsible for the safety of everybody else.
Yep.
I am my brother's keeper. Here,
Yes.
this is a lesson. If you haven't heard that lesson, we can go over that lesson, but it is true.
Yes.
And that's how it starts. If I'm in the trench with you, I'm going to protect you. That's my job to watch this side of you.
Yep.
And we're going to protect each other. And that's how we get into the trench with our drivers. We do what we have to do, and we make sure that they're okay. And you know what? When they have a valid complaint about something that needs to be fixed or broken, by God, let's fix it.
Yep. So we're going to kind of wrap things up here. Kind of just real quickly, tell me kind of what your mindset is when you talk about Volvo Trucks now.
Oh, wow. I can't tell you how awesome that not only has the company treated us and the vehicles been for our drivers. We have we have a team of them that won't drive anything else.
Wow.
So they're not interested. You say, okay, well, I've got this available, or no, I'm good. I'm good. In fact, I have a few drivers that don't want to come out of the first set that we got because I want to put them in the first gen that we got way back.
Yes.
No, my truck's good. What's wrong with it? Well, it's getting older. I would like to put you in a newer one. No, I'm good.
That's 2019.
Yeah.
Is when y'all.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm like, well, it's 5 years old. We can get you in a.
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
That's
no,
awesome,
I don't
man.
want that other truck.
That's great to hear.
No, and it is good. It's a good testimony to the vehicle. It's a good testimony to the because to me, it's about relationships and about
Right.
It's never been for a trucking company. It's kind of hard to explain. It's never been about what you have in the box, right? It's never been about what's in the because that's what we do for a living. We deliver
Right.
stuff. But it's always been about what's in the cab, and it's always been about relationships.
Yes.
Because that's what we are in a trucking company. We don't actually make the food. We just deliver it to the table like a waitress. We don't. We're the service.
Yep.
And in that regard, that's where I think Volvo stood out and did well in these last 5 years with me, and changed the way I view them. Is not only is our relationship. Has been fantastic, and your service. It has been outstanding in your ability to do what has been called upon to do.
Yeah.
Do I sometimes get mad when something's broken? Sure, I'm a big boy. I'll get over that. I'll get over that. But
And I've fielded some of those phone calls.
and you have to,
I get
because I get mad. You get upset.
And you know what?
You know what?
And it's okay. I just kind of think for a second, okay, it's kind of like a marriage. Okay, I just got to let her vent.
Exactly.
It'll be over in a minute.
It'll be over in a minute. Somebody needs to know I'm mad. But I'm going to tell you, the service has been impeccable, and I think that's where, Shawn, you and your team excel. It has the product. You can buy that anywhere, right?
Yeah.
You can go anywhere. But I want to tell you, it's been the service, it's been the relationship, and it's been what y'all been willing to do above and beyond when called to do so. And that's what I wanted to thank you for, and that's why I wanted to be one of the first ones on here in regards to the Volvo.
Yeah, and I really appreciate all the kind words, and I really appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely.
The initial launch of Cab Conversations.
We're here.
So we're going to wrap things up. I think Bryce is going to give you a little feed where you can establish contact with me if you need to. You can reach me at the phone number that she posts, and I also have an email address.
Yeah, right here. It's going to be listed right here, and then
if you guys are needing Volvo tractors, I got them, and just let me hear from you. Dave, thanks so much for coming on Cab Conversations. Have a great,
Good luck with your venture here.
Hey, thanks very much. I appreciate that.